Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. LSU spring game concluded back on Saturday, and as you would expect, as spring concludes and the transfer portal opens, you would imagine there will be some activity. And we knew that there would be activity for LSU because Brian Kelly has been adamant about the fact that LSU will be pursuing defensive tackles in the transfer portal, and that becomes difficult when you're over the roster limit already as you conclude spring ball. So you figured there would be 7 to 10 players headed into the transfer portal. And we saw pretty quickly Jackson Howard moved on, and he's now committed to his home state, Minnesota. Connor Gilbert, the tight end, decided he was going to move on. Kai Prien, who had a nice touchdown catch in the spring game, has decided he's going to move on. He's headed to Tulane spring game this weekend, and that seems like a potential landing spot for him at wide receiver. And then 3 more names that we've seen here in recent hours. Christian Brathwaite, a linebacker, Jeremiah Hughes, a corner, and Ryan Yaites, a safety, have all declared their intentions to enter the transfer portal. And so the question is, like, how big a deal is this for LSU? Well, I'll tell you, it's different in different cases. We'll start with Jeremiah Hughes, who LSU brought in from out west to play corner. He was a 3-star from out in Nevada, and you bring him in, and he decides he's going to transfer out. Now, we know that LSU was very, very poor at cornerback last year. The play was not good. Teams threw it all over the place. It started with Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman, and company over in Orlando, and it never really stopped. It was just very, very poor all the way around. But just because the play was poor doesn't mean the depth is not good. LSU has more than it needs at corner and safety. I'll run through the list here. Javian Toviano and Ashton Stamps are sophomores, so you would imagine are toward the top of the depth chart. Zy Alexander is a senior. When he gets healthy, you would imagine he'll be there as well. Those appear to kind of be the first 3 right now. What you get out of the 2 Ohio State transfers that are both juniors, J.K. Johnson and Jair Brown, we'll see. P.J. Woodland early enrolled and made some waves in the spring. And then you've got Bernard Causey, Wallace Foster, and Juwan Johnson all in this class. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at cornerback without Jeremiah Hughes. And only Zy Alexander is out of eligibility after this year. So assuming everyone stays, which they won't, but assuming that, you're talking about 8 guys that you go into next spring with without even adding this freshman class. So as far as corner goes, LSU's depth is just fine without Jeremiah Hughes. It's just a matter of can Javian Toviano, Ashton Stamps, Zy Alexander, J.K. Johnson, Jair Brown, and P.J. Woodland play up to the standard that LSU holds itself to at cornerback? We'll see. But as far as depth goes, you're fine. At safety, you're even better in terms of depth. The numbers are astronomical at safety. Even with Ryan Yaites leaving, you've got Major Burns, who's a senior. You've got Sage Ryan, who's a junior. You've got Jordan Gilbert, who's a junior. You've got Jordan Allen, who's a sophomore. You've got Kylan Jackson, who's a redshirt freshman. And then you bring in Deshaun McBride, Joel Rogers, who are freshmen as well. Matthew Langlois is still here. He is a junior. And then Austin Alsbury transferred in from Auburn. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys for 2 spots. Depth is okay. I think that the staff had high hopes for Ryan Yaites when he came in. Ryan Yaites did play a little bit last year. Everyone who was dressed out for LSU in the secondary eventually played some, especially in the bowl game when you basically had nothing left. When Zy Alexander got hurt, you're kind of looking around like, we'll see. You didn't have Denver Harris. Like, you didn't have Deuce Chestnut. Like, whoever could play in the secondary was out there playing. But between safety and corner, even with Yaites and Jeremiah Hughes out, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 guys in the secondary. Now it's just up to Corey Raymond to go out there and coach him. And as I look at this, I kind of think your secondary right now looks like Javian Toviano, Ashton Stamps, Zy Alexander, Major Burns, Sage Ryan, Jordan Gilbert. And then behind them, J.K. Johnson, Jair Brown, P.J. Woodland, Kylan Jackson, Deshaun McBride. Like, that kind of looks like your first group. That's a lot of guys that garnered a lot of attention coming out of high school. Javian Toviano, 4-star, one of the top 10 players in the state of Texas. Ashton Stamps, a little bit under the radar, but we know about those guys
in Louisiana. J.K. Johnson, Jair Brown were 4 stars. Major Byrne was a 4-star. Sage Ryan was a 5-star. Jordan Gilbert was a 4-star. Kylan Jackson was a 4-star. Deshaun McBride was a 4-star. This is the type of recruiting profile LSU is very used to at defensive back. The production remains to be seen. That's something I'm still looking for. So those 2 guys, I don't think leave huge holes here. You've got the numbers. Christian Brathwaite is an interesting one. He's a guy that you look at and you say, there's probably playing time pretty close to around the corner. Like Greg Penn is here, but he's a senior. And Harold Perkins is here, but he's a junior who likely won't be here next year. West Weeks, who doesn't play a ton, is a senior. And so behind that, you got Whit Weeks, who's a sophomore that we hope to be a star. You've got Devon Keys, who's a freshman. You've got Tylen Singleton coming in, who's a 4-star behind you. And then Xavier Atkins in this class is a freshman as well, but he's 6 foot, 194 pounds. I don't think he's really ready to go in there and play linebacker. So Brathwaite kind of seemed like the next guy behind Penn, Perkins, and West Weeks to kind of come up with Whit Weeks and the 3 freshmen to be kind of the next crop of linebackers. But he's decided he's going to move on. So for LSU, this year, it looks okay. You've got Penn, Perkins, Westweek, Whit Weeks. That's 4 guys that you feel like can go in there and play linebacker. Behind them, you've got Devon Keys, Tylen Singleton, Xavier Atkins, who are all highly thought of players. In the 2025 class behind them, as you look to the years in the future, Charles Ross is a 4-star from Houston. Keelan Moses is a 4-star from U-High. But I think after this year, that may be a spot this time, well, actually January of next year, where we look and go, they probably need to add a junior linebacker. It feels like that's Penn's gone, Perkins is gone, West Weeks. You got Whit Weeks, Devon Keys, Tylen Singleton, Xavier Atkins. Let's bring in the next linebacker who can come in and help. And I think that would have been Brathwaite's spot, but I think he does leave a hole kind of in the program as opposed to the 2024 roster. So that's kind of where we sit right now. Nothing is earth-shattering here. We knew that 7 to 10 transfer portal guys were coming. We knew that 2 or 3 were going to come in, most likely at defensive tackle. And that's just kind of how it's transpiring just a few days after spring ball has concluded. So Jeremiah Hughes into the transfer portal, Ryan Yaites into the transfer portal, Christian Brathwaite into the transfer portal. That follows the news of Kai Prien, Connor Gilbert, Jackson Howard. I don't have any inside information on any other folks that are headed directly to the transfer portal. If I had to guess, I would pinpoint the secondary as well as the wide receiving core as potential spots where guys could leave. But again, that's just potential and just looking at the numbers and understanding how things could shake out over the next few days. But right now, LSU kind of right where they thought they would be. We'll talk with Shea Dixon in hour number 2 about what visits are being set up for guys that are going to come into LSU via the transfer portal. That's probably the more interesting news for LSU, guys that are going to be with you as opposed to guys that are moving on. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.